My next guest's name is Adeem Younis. He is the founder of the successful marriage site singlemuslim.com, which he set up when he was the age of 20 and was a student at Wakefield College. It has 2 million users now, and Adeem's not resting on his laurels. He's also launched his own charity, the PennyAppeal, which has raised £100 million in 10 years. And he's written his autobiography, Small Change, Big Difference, and joins me now. Adeem, thank you so much for talking to me today. And I will say, a little insight for our listeners, Adeem has been waiting patiently on the line for a good few minutes, about 45 minutes to an hour, because we were talking about eating out, weren't we, Adeem? And
great conversation. I've also learned about petrichor as well, and I'm going to use that myself.
It's such a good word, isn't it? Simon's brilliant at those lessons. But I kind of, before I start talking to you about singlemuslim.com, kind of wanted to get your view, because you're a business person, you know, and just the attitude to supporting businesses. And, you know, we were obviously hearing from my callers. What did you make of it?
You know what? I think it's just about courtesy, isn't it? It's about humanity. It's about respect. It's about just the core human values that if you're going to do something, how do you want to be treated yourself? That's how you should treat others. Basic rule. It's what we teach our children, isn't it? And I think that's just how we should live and how we should spread goodness and kindness and generosity. And especially as a few of the callers said, especially in these times where as a community, as a group of communities, we've all been hit so hard, and we don't need people's attitudes, and we don't need people to be, you know, not helping, hindering, and it impacts people's livelihoods. You know, like it impacts how they live and their children and their families. It's really kind of, you know, not nice whatsoever.
Well, with all that in mind, I think you've pretty much laid out your stall in kind of the kind of person you are. You decided that as much as you love your family and your community, there were certain parts of the way things were done that you weren't going to do. And I'm talking about finding a partner, getting married, and an arranged marriage wasn't for you. And I'm diving straight into this because I just think, you know, you went against quite a fundamental, you know, characteristic of your culture.
20 years ago, it was the only way. There was no other way. Second, third generation, economic migrant from South Asian subcontinent. How do you get married? Your parents choose somebody for you. You know, mostly it was a first cousin. And, you know, I don't come from that community. I don't come from that culture. I don't come from Pakistan. I'm a British Muslim, and this is my community. This is my culture. And this is where I see myself in the future. This is where I see my children growing up as well. I'd like somebody who's compatible to my values. I'd like somebody who's compatible to my vision. And I'd like somebody who's going to be a life partner with me, who I can spend, you know, like have a dream together. Because I've been to Pakistan, I've been to different parts of the world. And you know what? Some people say it's a different part of the world. I'd say it's a different universe because the schooling system, the law system.
But so was the plan that you would, if you hadn't done this, set up singlemuslim.com, if you hadn't done this, your parents would have got someone from their home, from Pakistan, and brought them over for you to marry?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have looked in the UK?
Not really, no. Because again, it was, we've got to remember, I'm getting old now, a lot of grey hairs in the beard. This was over 20 years ago now. And at that time, this was the only way. You'd go back and you'd find a good, compatible, suitable partner from your country of origin, because they were seen as, you know, somebody who was more obedient, or somebody who was more kind of settled, or somebody who was more, you know, cultured in that way. And maybe that's something that our parents were missing, lacking. That was their aspirations personally. You can't blame them either. You know, that's how they think, and that's how they were brought up. And I guess it's a generational thing. And for me, I was looking for a partner. I was looking for somebody to marry. I wasn't happy for my mum to choose that partner for me. I wasn't happy to get married to my first cousin in Pakistan. And my mum did put a lot of photographs on the mantelpiece, and she was saying, "Look, Adeem, you're an age now where you need to get married, and the responsibilities on your shoulders."
How old were you?
When I was 18, 19, mum started, and I thought it was just jokes. Initially, it was like, ha, ha, ha. And then mum saying, "Oh, granddad's getting old now. I don't know how many years he's got to live with us. You know, I need somebody to help me." Maybe she was looking for a bit of company in the house. I sadly lost my father when I was 8 years old. So there was an extra burden on my shoulders in terms of being responsible. I've got 2 younger siblings. So mum always said to me, "Look, you know, what will people think? What will the community think?" And it was quite atypical of the whole, our community as such.
So what did she say when you said you were going to set up? Well, here's what you did, right? You said, one, I'm not listening to you. I'm not doing what you're telling me to do. I'm breaking with tradition. Two, by that, I'm going to find my own partner, so I'm not going to take your opinion into account. Three, I'm setting up a business, which actually we have no idea if that's going to work. Four, I'm setting up a dating site, and now, obviously, it was 20 years ago, so the likes of Bumble, Tinder, whatever, weren't exactly there. Yeah. Which, when dating sites were first set up, it all sounded a bit crude. I mean, it was a thing that no one would admit to going on to. How did your mum react?
Just like Andy earlier on. No, Mum didn't know. Mum genuinely didn't know. And I guess Mum gave me the option, bless her. She said, look, Adeem, if you've got somebody, I'm happy to meet her. And I'm like, Mum, all our lives you've been saying to us, girlfriends are haram, relationships are forbidden, it's not good for a Muslim boy to be in a relationship. And now you're saying to me...
Or a Muslim girl.
Sorry?
Or a Muslim girl.
Absolutely, or a Muslim girl. And now you're saying to me, it's time to get married. Have you got somebody? And I'm like, of course, Mum, I haven't got anybody. So we're going to give you till the summer. And if you don't find somebody, we're going to ship you over to Pakistan. And you're going to come back back happily married. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So I don't want yourself, Naga, or the viewers to think I'm desperate. But, necessity is the mother of all invention, and it was a desperate time.
So, okay, you set it up. I mean, do you swipe right? I mean, how does it work?
At that time, you didn't swipe right. I see it as the granddads of the internet age. We were desperate top. Back then, it was the dial-up. So it's all that kind of, and even so, we've evolved massively. So now you do swipe, now you do click, now you do swipe up, and all the rest of it. We've got an app. The whole kind of the technology has advanced massively. But ours at that time and still now is very different to other dating sites because we've got an end objective, which is marriage. It's a long-term serious relationship which leads then to marriage.
Of which there are other dating sites which, say that they're not for just casual hookups, they're for longer term. Do parents, since this is kind of different, is it the kind of dating site where, say, a young Muslim man or a young Muslim woman was on, would show to their parents?
That's interesting because actually 20% of the people that are registered on our website are registered on behalf of their children, on behalf of their siblings, or even on behalf of their parents. So that shows how involved.
It hasn't broken with the tradition of marriage and family being kind of not a family decision, but involving the whole family.
No, not at all. And it's not, unknown when we go and meet success stories or when success stories, come and inform us of how they met. It's actually a family process where the family, the wider family will shortlist and then they'll come and they'll have a look and then they'll communicate and then they'll message. I don't see it as a this, all that. It's evolved now. So the community aunties are now using the process. Families are kind of like, reaching out to other people, and you can search for locality, you can search for profession, you can search for background, you can search for religiosity, how practicing you are of your faith. You can search for profession, income, and so on and so forth.
So it's much more detailed.
Huge amounts of detail.
Did you meet a partner to your mum's satisfaction?
I met my then partner off the website, absolutely, and we've got 4 beautiful children. Oh. That's the real success. And you know what? It's not a challenge that I had. It wasn't a problem. I found that it was a challenge of a whole generation of Western Muslims who were facing this, whether they're in the UK, whether in US, Canada, Australia. We were ahead of the curve. We're early adopters, unlike a lot of things that the Asian community do. We're generally laggards, but that was very, very early.
Would your mum be proud? Obviously now she would be, but then say, yes, my son has a dating website. That's his business. She didn't, did she?
Then I don't think that they knew. I don't think that they knew what it was. To be honest with you, it's like, you help people get married. Yeah, I do. Okay, how do you do that on the internet? What's the internet? Well, it's this thing that you go onto and you can. All right, okay. So you're helping people get married. Oh, that's very noble of you. That's very kind of you. That's very,
Oh, okay. So you're a good salesperson, obviously. I need to talk to you quickly because I've only got about a minute with you. The Penny Appeal. Now, this is a charity which you set up, and charity, of course, is very important in the Islamic faith.
Yes. we're in the month of Ramadan now, and
Indeed.
it's huge. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, so it's hugely important. And the PennyAppeal was set up and was incubated within Single Muslim, and it was something that we as a team decided that we were going to not just look at in terms of the business and entrepreneurial aspect of what we do, but really in terms of the social impact. What can we do to help people, to assist people, not just around the world and in emergencies, as we've seen in India, COVID, which we've launched the appeal today, but also at home here. And we've done some amazing work with the kind of food banks, with domestic abuse, and also, especially over the last 18 months or so, in terms of with COVID, with the listening line. So, it's a really good global story. Like you mentioned earlier in your intro, we've been a phenomenal success. We've raised over £100 million for good causes. And the book that I've got, James Khan, The Entrepreneur Dragon's Den, does a forward for it as well.
Oh, well, I'm going to finish the interview by saying the name of your autobiography. Small change, big difference. Good person, you could have added to that. Adeem, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience for waiting, because I know I was supposed to talk to you in the last hour. So thank you so much.
I enjoyed the show.
Oh,
it's a great show.
That's great. It's made my day. Thank you so much. Adeem Younis there.
Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.